There are so many decisions that go into choosing a college, like finding the right major, acquiring enough money to pay for school, and even things like finding a way to have fun. That's exactly why we decided to take an in-depth look at the colleges and universities across this country, as well as the towns they're in, to help you make the best decision on where you'll spend the next 4 years of your life. This episode, we ventured down south to discover the rich history, culture, and education of some of the nation's most famous schools. Buckle up and get ready for College GPS. Mississippi State University is a very unique campus because it sits in the middle of an agricultural commercial city that goes by the name of Starkville. The grounds of Mississippi State include some 4,200 acres, including farms, pastures, and woodlands of the Experiment Station. MSU is home to 22,000 students. The campus has 12 colleges, 15 residence halls, 20 plus dining options on campus, over 400 student organizations, and over 180 baccalaureate, graduate, and professional degree programs. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are an NCAA Division I team and compete in the competitive SEC division. In their 120-year history, they have won 21 national championships. Starkville is a college sports town through and through. You may even recognize 2016 NFL Rookie of the Year, Dak Prescott, as a notable MSU alum. I'm going to let Gabby and Stephanie take it from here and show you and tell you a little bit more about the Mississippi State University.
We are on Drill Field. This part of campus is where many of the major academic buildings reside. This beautiful building behind me is the Dave C. Swam School of Chemical Engineering. If you're a student who's interested in chemical engineering, then this may be the perfect place for you. The School of Engineering has had a long run with Mississippi State. The school actually started in 1935.
So we are currently at the Student Center where a lot of people hang out, and I'm outside of the doghouse where we host a lot of concerts, a lot of events, and where students just come to chill.
This is David Wade Stadium at Scott Field. As you can see, this structure is humongous and hosts all of the school's football games. The structure was originally built in 1914 and renovated in 2014.
As an MSU student, you have to check out one of the local restaurants on campus. After a long day of filming, the crew stopped by a local favorite by the name of Mugshots Bar and Grill.
Hey, here I am at Mugshots. About to go in and try one of their burgers. Let's see what they made up.
If you're up for the challenge, you have to try the Mugshot Challenge. Well, what is the Mugshot Challenge, you ask? This monster is 3 seasoned patties piled high with 6 strips of hickory smoked bacon. The challenge is to finish the whole plate in 12 minutes or less. This challenge is not for the faint of heart. As you can see, Gabby, Doc, and Devon tried, but they didn't succeed.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into our virtual college tour experience. My name is Stephanie Rodriguez. I am one of the outreach specialists for the Talent Search program. Today, I am here with Rob Fleming, one of the program coordinators for Student Support Services at MSU. Hello, Rob. How are you doing today?
I'm well, Stephanie. Thank you so much for inviting me to share with you all today. I'm very excited about the conversation that we're going to have. So happy to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. First and foremost, of course, I would like to ask for you to explain to us what services does TRIO student support services provide to college students at MSU?
I think this is a great question, and I often tell people that I feel like MSU student support services is the hidden gem. Our goal and mission overall is to make sure that all first-gen limited income students and students with documented disabilities have the support and the resources that they need to not only just get to Mississippi State, but to make it to graduation and be successful post-graduation. And so we do that through a wide array of services. But one of the things that we use particularly is programming, student programming. Of course, that looks a little different now due to COVID-19. We know that the COVID-19 virus is changing the way that we all work and structure our programs. Obviously, we're having a virtual college tour. And so a lot of our programs have gone virtual as well, but we usually have a speaker series. And in that speaker series, we try to connect our students to other university resources that they can utilize to help bolster their success while they're here. And also, we give them an opportunity to build community with other first-gen limited income students on campus. And so in that speaker series, we'll have somebody come and speak about graduate school, financial aid, also someone come in and talk about career development, or to talk about professionalism, also to talk about cultural enrichment, cultural development. And so it's a wide array of different programs that we provide to our students. Another thing that we do is individualized advising. And so sometimes coming to institutions of this size, it's really easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle. You start to be identified by your MSU ID or by your 9-digit number. So we try to break that stigma by making sure that each student has a tangible professional that is there and able to interact and talk to them and kind of walk them through some of the questions they have about higher education, and then too, just to have somebody there to provide support. And so we try to make sure that we hit on all aspects of the student life, and ultimately, again, going back to my initial point, make sure that all of our students here at Mississippi State have equitable opportunities and also feel supported while they're here at the institution. So,
can you tell us how MSU's TRIO programs have approached disseminating information to their participants? How has the program adjusted, and how have students kept receiving the support from you guys?
Most certainly. It's been a wild, crazy year. And I often tell people that last spring, I think that we were just trying to survive. And so one of the things that we did to try to switch how we were providing services is to meet all of our students where they are. Of course, the utilization of email and texts and phone calls, that stuff definitely ramped up big time. When it came to our programs, we had Zoom and WebEx meetings to continue to provide the services to our students. But another thing that we really started doing a lot more too is utilizing social media. We realized that with the use of these little devices, we stay on social media, some of us maybe hours a day. And so because of that, we realized that we could leverage the use of social media to make sure that we're still reaching students. And not only students, but our community partners, people want to know more about TRIO and what we're doing. And so we started posting videos, flyers, just trying to post resources, also announcements and things to keep in mind, when navigating the semester. And so that's some of the ways that we continue to stay engaged. Just anything that we can do to reach our students is our main goal.
What advice would you give to those who aspire to obtain a higher education, but either don't feel capable or don't have that support you were talking about?
One thing that my father always told me, I think it's a common quote, that you're no better than anybody else, but you're just as good as anybody else. I would tell definitely anybody that's watching this, you can do it. You have all of the potential, you have the intellect, you have the knowledge. Believe in yourself, know that you can do it. You have all the tools that you need mentally and the motivation to do it. And next to, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself and ask people questions until you get the answer that you need. And then after that, just go and be great.
Thank you so much for that answer. I definitely resonate with a lot with what you said. Thank you so much, Mr. Fleming. I truly appreciate you taking the time to meet with us and talking to us about TRIO at MSU. We definitely appreciate it, and we appreciate what you do there.
Most certainly, it's a pleasure to have this time to share with y'all. If you come to campus, please feel free to reach out prior to coming here, or when you get here, please connect to our office. We'd be more than happy to assist you in any way possible. You have family here already. It's just up to you to find us and make sure that we get connected.
Thank you so much.
Mississippi State University has so much to offer so many people of so many backgrounds. If you're looking for a small urban college town with huge commitments to education, sports, and agriculture, MSU offers you a fulfilling experience. Hail State. Now you know there is no way we could leave Mississippi without visiting one of the most legendary HBCUs in the nation, the Sonic Boom of the South, Jackson State University. I'm going to hand it over to our team on the ground, as well as our Jackson State tour guides.
What's up, guys? We're here in front of the H.P. Jacobs Administration Tower here at Jackson State University. This tower is the tallest building on campus and houses most of the administrative offices for the university. It also houses the president, who's on the top floor. Guys, so we are inside of JSU's Student Center. It's also called The Legacy. Here you can find different types of food options as well as 3 different floors, and one of them, they actually host events for the community. So let's check out JSU's Student Center.
And so the Tiger Center is actually the athletic center for our student athletes. So student athletes are actually coming here to have their academic practice. This is where their academic advisors are as well. So they come in, and anything that they need assistance academically, that's exactly what we offer in here. So we have their lab set up here. This is one of the advisors' office. We have another advisor office on this side, and then in the back we have a classroom and our conference area for our student athletes.
This is the building for College of Education and Human Development. If you're a student who's looking to be an educator, JSU may be the place for you. So this here is for all of my future STEM majors. This is the College of Science. engineering, and technology. Guys, if you want to go into STEM, JSU has a beautiful building behind me that could be your home.
We can't end this experience without hearing from the president himself, Mr. Thomas Hudson, about all the great things Jackson State has to offer.
Hey guys, it's Miss Dillon here, and I am with President Hudson from Jackson State University. Welcome, President Hudson. I'm going to ask you a few questions today about the school, your career, and just Jackson State as a whole. So let's go ahead and jump in. So my first question for you, President Hudson, the president is expected to be the voice of the institution's mission, values, concerns, and aspirations. What are those missions and values, and how much do they align with your own?
Well, thank you, Gabrielle, for the opportunity to be here with you and to really be a part of this important work. It's a good question. I would say that our mission as an institution, of course, is to create leaders who really address and solve societal problems and compete effectively. And, we do a great job within that context of installing those values in our students. And the university did a great job in doing that with myself in particular. So in the word, Jackson State is about leadership. It's about growing leaders. And I've really lived my entire life trying to live up to the ideals of that mission, being a leader who solves societal problems and competes effectively. So, I really feel that my values, my goals really align with the mission of Jackson State in that regard.
Next question for you. What initiatives have been created to encourage higher education, specifically for students belonging to minority groups or disadvantaged backgrounds?
As an HBCU, the best way I can answer that question is that JSU's entire infrastructure, our entire foundation is built for the students that you talk about. Those students from minority groups, first generation, those from disadvantaged backgrounds. That's really the basis of the entire university, really taking those types of students and making them who they are meant to be. So when you talk about a specific program or initiative, our Division of Student Success, of course, focuses totally on student achievement, whether it's Upward Bound, which is a program that helps high school students make the leap to college. TRIO, which you're very familiar with, which targets individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds by providing that lift to those low-income, first-generation college students and really setting them on the path to success. We also have a program called Bridge to the Future, which prepares those incoming students with the focus on STEM, which is an area that really, truly, people of color have been historically underrepresented. So it's really the entire university. It's the entire university. We are built for just such a student that you name. And that is an HBCU. We are very proud to carry that mantra, from our founding on to today.
Sometimes they feel like they don't belong on a college campus. What would you say to a student who feels that way?
Well, first of all, I would say that you do belong. And you will, if you come to the campus, if you come to whether it's Jackson State or any college campus, any HBCU, if you come to Jackson State, if you meet our students, talk to our students, you will find someone whose background, whose experiences really mirror your own. There is no mold here, meaning there's no one typical college student, especially at HBCU. We are a mosaic of all types of backgrounds, experiences that really make us who we are and really makes that HBCU experience so special. So I would tell anyone considering an HBCU, come to Jackson State, tour our campus. Right now we're doing virtual tours, and twice a week we're actually doing in-person family tours. But tour our campus, walk around, talk to the people, and see how comfortable you will truly feel in our atmosphere. And then talk to counselors, talk to our graduates, talk to people in the community, neighbors, really get that perspective about what college is about and how you fit in there. And I guarantee you, you will find that there is a place for you. We hope that place is at Jackson State University. But again, really take the time to learn, research, and be a part and learn about those spaces that you live.
What more could be said about the historic Jackson State University? If you're searching for an HBCU that is rooted in ensuring your success, Jackson State is the spot for you. When we were planning this tour, we realized that if we were going to talk about culture and history, it would not be fair if we didn't stop at the home of the blues, Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee. If there are two things Memphis is known for, it's their legends and their barbecue. Artists like Isaac Hayes, Juicy J, Justin Timberlake, and Elvis Presley all hail from the city of Memphis. But one man is so a part of this Memphis culture that we had to stop at his restaurant. That's right, I'm talking about the legendary blues artist B.B. King. B.B. King moved to Memphis after World War II, where he became a DJ. He had his first record in 1949, and the rest was history. B.B. King's barbecue is delicious. Well, you know what? I'll let Doc tell you more about that.
We're at BB King's. I'm about to try some pulled pork tater tots. Oh man, if my mama was here, I'd slap her.
What? What did he say?
You need to leave.
Right, good. Dipping the waffle. I got the baked chicken, barbecue chicken with the banana pepper on top. It's about to go down.
B.B. King's barbecue sits right in the middle of Beale Street. It represents the best of Beale Street's storied culture and the blues music that built this city. After we visited Beale Street, we made a stop at the Lorraine Motel.
All right, guys, so we are here at Lorraine Motel. Lorraine Motel is significant because it's the place where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spent his last few hours alive before he was assassinated. This place is also significant because attached to the hotel is the National Civil Rights Museum, a place where you can find all types of information about the civil rights movement of the 60s.
The Lorraine Motel will forever be etched in our memory as the place where Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. But it also has a history of being one of the only hotels in a segregated Memphis to cater to black clientele. It even appears in the Negro Motorist Green Book, or Green Guide, which identified establishments that welcomed black travelers when Jim Crow restrictions offered limited options for services and lodging. So it's very ideal that this would be the place that will become the hollow ground for black history. Our time in Memphis was amazing, but we had to hit the road to Nashville, another major city in Tennessee that has deep roots in our history, our culture, and our education. What school says Nashville more than Tennessee State University, home of the Tigers? This historically black university has an amazing track record of graduating black scholars and placing them into engineering, agribusiness, and health science fields. According to the TSU website, 71% of alumni are employed or pursuing a higher degree. The Tennessee State University Aristocrat of Bands is legendary in its own right. They've performed at the John F. Kennedy Inaugural Parade, countless other competitions, and halftime shows. Some of their band members even went on to perform with Beyonce at Coachella.
Okay, so we are in front of the Harold Love Student Success Center. This is where you come if you need to figure out what major you want to go into, if you need academic advising, or just tutoring. This is the place to be.
So here is Crouch Hall, probably the most convenient place to live on campus, since it's right here in the middle of everything.
Surrounding the quad is Elliott Hall, which is also known as the Women's Building. This building is used for events, meetings, and it is specifically for women. So one really interesting fact is that TSU remains the only public university in all of Nashville, and its health science program is one of the largest in the whole nation.
The amphitheater at TSU is one of the campus's main gathering places. Concerts, student org meetings, study sessions, and other exciting things all take place right here. In the Student Center, you'll find a state-of-the-art dining facility with plenty of restaurants to choose from, the bookstore with all of your academic and school pride needs, and a game room in the basement. TSU is a great pick for students who are looking for an HBCU with a proven record of helping their students to succeed and a community that embraces them and encourages them. One of the main places you have to stop and get something to eat at in Nashville is Sweat's Restaurant. Sweat's is a family-owned soul food restaurant that has fed so many celebrities and college students alike. Sweat's was founded by business owners Walter and Susie Sweat. The Sweats opened the restaurant in 1954, and we got a chance to sit down with the current owner, David, the youngest son of Walter and Susie, to talk about the legacy of this place and how he elevated the business and the family brand.
We started out as a little beer tavern selling sandwiches. And about a year or so after that, my mother decided to start cooking some plate lunches, what they call plate lunches. And from that point, we went away from selling beer into a restaurant.
Now, how have you been able to maintain your business for so many years? What's your secret sauce?
Well, get up early in the morning, work 7 days a week. But, we just continue to try to put out a decent product and a product that people enjoy eating. In Southern cuisine, they call it comfort food, soul food. In Nashville, they actually call this type of restaurant a meat and three. And because you have meat and three vegetables.
Well, I just want to thank you for all of the years of service and feeding people. And I've come down. I've been doing this since 1988, and we always stop by Sweats.
We certainly appreciate it.
The food is always so good, and when the students walk out, they've always been very happy and had very positive attitudes and positive things to say about your restaurant. So thank you. I wanted more people to know about you being here on the corner. Your exact address is?
2725 Clifton Avenue, Nashville, 37209.
Excellent. If you get an opportunity to stop by Sweats, by all means, you should do it. It's an experience that everyone should.
We knew that there was no way we could come to Nashville without visiting the renowned Fisk University. Fisk is the oldest institution of higher learning in Nashville and held its first classes in 1866, only a year after the Civil War. From there, the campus grew and produced graduates of all backgrounds that are currently succeeding in their field. Fisk ranks number 6 among all HBCUs according to U.S. News Report. The average cost of attendance at Fisk is about $29,114 after aid. I'm going to turn it over to Patrick so he can show you more of this stunning institution.
Okay guys, we are here at the Fisk Memorial Chapel. Fun fact, this building hosts graduation, lectures, concerts, and many other campus activities. Also, some notable people who have spoken in the chapel include Dr. Martin Luther King, Nat King Cole, Thurgood Marshall, and many others. This is the Hope and Franklin Library. If you're the type of student that likes to study in the quiet, you may be spending a lot of time here. We are at the Harris Music Building. This is the home of music studies and also the location where the Jubilee Singers practice. This is Kravitz Hall. This is where the Office of the President, Office of Admissions, the Registrar, the Provost, as well as academic advising. So if you are a freshman coming to Fisk, you more than likely will be in this building your first few weeks of school.
Completed in 1876, Jubilee Hall is the oldest academic building on campus. The Jubilee Singers raised $100,000 on their European tour to complete this building. Today, it serves as an undergraduate residence hall, but remains a mainstay of campus life. Fisk also has some amazing partnerships with other top-tier institutions. In 2020, Fisk and Meharry Medical College formed a partnership that gives Fisk students a clear pathway to careers in the physician and dentistry field. Meharry's president even said that the program is a crucial step towards increasing the pipeline of African Americans entering the healthcare field. Fisk University is a place for you if you value deep-rooted history along with modern education with access to premier resources to ensure your success. As you've seen, Tennessee is full of promising opportunities for students of all backgrounds. But it's time that we head to one of the most famous institutions in the nation. Wheels up to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now, when we arrived to the University of Alabama, our plan was to show you every inch of this enormous campus, but the weather had other plans. It rained, and I mean it rained hard. But we didn't let that stop us. We swung the doors of the Sprinter open, and we went for it. Now, you may know the University of Alabama because of their football program, the Crimson Tide, otherwise known as the team that wins. A lot. But Alabama is very rooted in education and ranks high in multiple fields. The university has 13 colleges and offers 117 programs of study, the most notable being the School of Law, Business, and Education. This campus is humongous. It has 297 buildings, 1,970 acres, which includes 2 quads, 2 libraries, and yes, 2 larger-than-life stadiums. We didn't catch half the footage we wanted to, but we caught enough to show you that this university is a major attraction to students who love living on large campuses, celebrating football championships, all while receiving a world-class education. Our trip would not be complete without visiting ATL. That's right, Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta has carved out its own culture since the early 20th century and has reinvented it multiple times. But what has remained a constant in this city is the education and its activists. Dr. King's legacy is stamped onto the city for all to see, from his statue at Morehouse College to his memorial and burial place just outside of downtown. And you know, we had to cover it all. Dr. King was the co-pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church with his father in the 1960s. Ebenezer was and remains one of the largest black churches in Atlanta and is now pastored by the newly elected Senator Dr. Raphael Warnock, whose recent Senate run woke up the nation. Atlanta holds 3 of the most popular schools in the nation. Of course, you guessed it, Morehouse College, Spelman College, and Clark Atlanta University. All of these schools are in walking distance of one another and form a unique trio. We sat down with Spelman President Mary Schmidt Campbell, who gave us so much insight into the college's storied history.
What's up, guys? It's Miss Dillon, and I am here with the president of Spelman, Dr. Campbell. Hi, Dr. Campbell. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Gabrielle. How are you?
I am great. I'm excited to be interviewing you today just to ask you a few questions about the institution and what's been happening on campus. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. My first question for you, Dr. Campbell, is that the president is expected to be the voice of the institution's missions and values. What are those missions and values for Spelman, and how much do they align with your own?
Spelman College is designed for the success of Black women. And everything we do on that campus speaks to this. In the classroom, outside of the classroom, our co-curricular activities, our study abroad program, our internships, our research opportunities, everything is designed for the success of Black women and the success for Black women as global leaders. We don't expect them to just graduate with a degree. We expect them to go out in the world and have a competitive edge, to be leaders, to speak out and speak up on issues. And if you look at our alumni, you can see that they have done that. So you look at Roz Brewer, who is the CEO of Walgreens Boots Alliance. You look at Stacey Abrams, and you can see that she is a very effective activist, and she will be the first to tell you that she learned that activism at Spelman College.
And then my last question for you is, what advice would you give to those students who aspire to obtain a college degree, but either don't feel capable or don't have the support? So a lot of our programs focus on helping students who are low income, first generation. They're coming from underserved areas that don't necessarily push college and getting a higher education? What do you say to those students?
There is a way. We make a way out of no way, and what we have to do, and by we I mean members of our community, members of the Black community, always face people saying no to them. When I was graduating from high school, I had counselors who told me, why don't you go to this school over here? It's really, that's all you can do, right? And they don't, because there's not the caring or there's not the time to spend to find out who you are and what your aspirations are and what your capabilities are. So to those students, I say, seek out the people who will say yes to you. There are those people in your environment. You have to find them. Maybe it's not the guidance counselor, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a coach of an athletic team, maybe it's an advisor, but there are going to be, maybe it's your pastor in your church, maybe it's the members of your congregation, but you can find people in your environment who will say yes to you.
Great, I'm so glad you said that. We tell our students that all the time, and sometimes it's better hearing it from someone else who isn't with them all the time. So thank you for that, and thank you for joining us on this interview. We really, really appreciate it. That's all we have with Dr. Campbell, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Next, we sat down with Mr. Ralph Coates, who works in the TRIO programs housed at Morehouse College.
We provide a plethora of services, in particular TRIO programs, specifically the Talent Search program, known for providing financial aid, assistance, just getting students to understand how the FAFSA process works. Our tutorial program that we have across 12 of our schools. We have 8 high schools and 4 middle schools. The academic and instructional support, providing students with cultural and enrichment activities as well. Students go on college tours. They have the opportunity to visit a number of colleges throughout our country. It can be state, private, HBCUs like Morehouse College, and just a number, counseling services, mentoring, making sure that our college students are able to come into our schools and mentor our students that are in middle school and high school. So students receive all sorts of services at all different levels. Our expectations are very high. When you come in, we're raising the bar high because we want to exceed all of our objectives. We just don't want to do the minimum. We want every student in our program to be successful and to succeed. And some of that is done individually, it's done on a group basis. But it's our responsibility as the educators, as the professionals, to ensure that we're working very closely with each of our students and that we're not leaving any student behind. Having programs like TRIO available for them, for us to show them that process, we know in the end that they'll be successful. Just making sure that we get them in the door. Once we get them in the door, we'll be able to take care of the rest.
This trip has been full of information, twists and turns, and enlightenment. We hope you enjoyed every mile that we covered. Thank you so much for watching another episode of College GPS. Be sure to follow us on social media at FCEA Trio and visit our website at www.familycentered.org.